Okay, I updated my YouTube and updated all the phones up to date and everything. And my videos were I just recording a video on my phone. The thing was stalling and jittery and uh, it was like missing seconds or so. It was like I was jumping around. The screen was all over the place. So updated YouTube now, so maybe this is working. But I noticed my last video, the last two videos I did were my screen just froze and my stream ended, and that was I continued talking after it froze, but when I play the videos back, obviously I talked for I went about 30 seconds before I realized they had screwed me that one I just did earlier. But that's Verizon, the data Nazis, I call them data Nazis. They're big babies about letting you have data and letting you use the capacity, the technology of your phone. It's they sell you these phones. Here's a 4G phone and unlimited data. Bullshit. They're big pussies about their data. That's what they're watching that data like they're guarding their you know like they're protecting their nuts, and all they do is piss people off. Well, that's the idea of the phone company, right? To have people pissed off at you. You have your customers so pissed off that your customer service is overwhelmed with complaints. Well, get a fucking clue, Verizon. We don't play games with data. Just let the people watch it like they do on cable. You know, some of us don't live in a house where we can hook up a cable. Oh well, that's enough. But my other stream, and that really ticks me off I'm paying 100 and something bucks a month for a piece of crap, for a phone on a piece of crap telecommunications network. I don't like paying for garbage. I don't go to McDonald's and order, can I have what's in the garbage can? You know, when you go to Variety, you're supposed to be the best. Well, yeah, the best still ain't good enough. Your best ain't good enough, Verizon. Yeah, the CEOs, double blazes to the CEOs at Verizon. Yeah, and AT&T and Sprint. They're all in collusion together with it. Yeah, I Forrest colluded with the Russians. I was thinking of getting a Russian partner too, but there's a reason people had been within 200 feet and couldn't find Forrest Fenn's Trove. His Trove is the archaeology. You see that stuff from 200 feet, 500 feet. You can see it from half a mile away. Some of it is so obvious to somebody with a good eye, with a marvel gaze, and so these people that have been within 200 feet, they don't have a marvel gaze. They can't see the shapes and interpret those shapes as humans or mammoths or arrowheads or you know. Uh, I got some pictures yesterday. This area I'm exploring. There's evidence I've seen that they poured there's straight lines and then a jog and another straight line, and it's like the concrete. There's like concrete floors and stuff from their homes that they had. They had concrete floor, but the wooden home probably built on top of it rotted away. It's gone. So, in some of these stone structures, there could have been wood beams going between stones, and they could have had a roof on their covers. I've seen things that look like fireplace hearths and but the art I'm finding is just incredible. Uh, the because all these formations, and I just went around the corner yesterday and I was surprised. I get my car in where I really need a four. If I had a four-wheel drive, man, I'd get way deep in there. Um, so yeah, I need to get some partners and stuff to start somebody, people interested in the archaeology stuff here, and they got to start a an organization to research this archaeology, you know, and then I can probably get permits and have a facility here on site where the research is done, and and put it right in the heart of some. Really, there's a lot more stuff down here than up where I suspect the treasure is. The clues in the poem and his book and all that point to treasure being up in that area. But I was curious and went exploring and trying to determine the extents of this, and I found a big trove of archaeology. That's what is my trove for all to seek. You're looking for this trove of archaeology, and you want to collect as much of it as you can. Whoever collects the most, he'll give them title to the gold. He says he gives you title to the gold. So you go out there, you didn't find the archaeology, so you don't qualify for the title to the gold. You only came within 200 feet. You came within 200 feet and couldn't see it right in front of them. It's hidden in plain sight. The archaeology is the trove. I think this is just it's a competition to his logbook of where all his artifacts go to, museums and charities or whatever people all his artifacts go to, and that little slot after the treasure chest, that slot there after the treasure chest is blank till he fills that in with the person who's going to receive title in his will. That's otherwise I keep going and looking at the end of the rainbow area, but since I'm only able to camp there 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, I come to another area that because I got to go at least 30 miles, and so I go 35, 40 miles and to this other area, and there's a lot of stuff here so why waste gas driving up there? Because it's likely that this archaeology is the trove. The trove is the art, nature, the archaeology. It's where hint of treasures, and all your dreams and your wishes, and you're seeking that treasure. But the person who gets the treasure is the one who is able to see these are letters from 14,000 BC. And the other thing I was commenting on, I was searching for where he mentions ant on Terry Scant. And I'll tell you a clue when you're searching for a word like ant, okay? You want to before when you entering your search word, you want to put a space before it and a space after it, so that word ant is not in want. It wants. I got to pull up everything where he says want or antenna or something like that. So if you have that little space before and after your 3-letter word that you're searching, then all that other stuff doesn't come up. It's only where there's this, because it has to have a space before and after ANT. So it's a single word ant, not ant as a part of a word. So I searched for where, and he says, like when he says it's not near the Rio Grande, right? Then you reference, he says, I don't know how close near is. To an ant, a mud puddle can be an ocean. Okay. And he also said that he was talking about something in the military, and most of my cockiness went south, and suddenly I felt like a crippled ant in an elephant parade. You look at my thing where I had the mammoth parade. Elephant. Those mammoths are elephants. Okay, mammoth, elephant. And they're and they're bananas. Their trunk is a banana. Grab all the bananas you can. They're the archaeology. They're the ancient stories and stuff. People that are fishing was the most important thing to him. No, he moved to Santa Fe because there was a lot of artifact hunting to do in the area. He wanted to be stationed in Lubbock because he figured that he'd find a lot of arrowheads around there. He wanted to be as close as he could to where he's going to find art, where he can go treasure hunting. And the treasure hunting, artifacts, and learning things about ancient people is the important stuff to him. So it also, when he says he felt like a crippled ant in the elephant parade, that picture of my elephant parade, if you look at it, there's a human figure and the elephants are walking over the top of him. Now, and then the other thing about the crippled ant in the elephant parade, when you stand next to some of these elephant mammoth formations, you're the size of an ant compared to, because that elephant is blown up so big that it makes you the size of an ant. you know, those silly things he says like that. Well, I felt like a crippled ant in an elephant parade. Those have a lot of that was thrown in there intentionally because you're looking for the elephants. And when you find them, you feel like a crippled ant in an elephant parade. This guy laying in the boom. What do we got? Because I want to go treasure. I want to go out there and I gotta go do the my exploring before it rains. It's gonna probably rain about 2:00. So, yeah, yesterday it rained on and off, and it was just cloudy all day. I had to start my generator at 6 p.m. instead of 1 a.m. because there was no sunshine for my solar all day long. Boy, there's no chat showing up. Nothing. Okay. So have they disabled that, or what's the deal? Top chat, yeah, okay. Live chat, nothing. And those other channels, they can't keep up with their streams of people chatting. It's just lurkers, I guess, today. Yeah, I guess Shelley's a little pissed off at Teton Trapper. Well, if you treated people nicely, people wouldn't make videos like that about you. You know, saying you lack imagination is not an insult. It makes you a twit, Since I've been blocked and all that, and all the criticism, and basically, I don't exist. I'm not even hunting for the treasure in their world. Um, the treasure is the reward for finding the archaeology, for figuring out what the whole chase is about. It's about the chase, the thrill of the chase. His life is the chase from the beginning of the Omega to the end of the Omega, going over the rainbow. And this chase isn't over until the end of his life, and then you'll get the treasure from his cold dead hands. And he gives you title. It means that you're not going to have, it's not your treasure until he gives you the title. The title, you're given a title for an accomplishment or a good deed, or what are you given titles for? Why is somebody knighted? Because they're a movie star. My ancestors were the knights. I'm descended from William Marshall. If you don't know who William Marshall was, look it up. He was the gladiator, the champion gladiator of the knights, basically. They were the Knights Templars. I'm descended from the St. Clairs. That movie Da Vinci Code. Oh, you're the only descendant. Bullshit. There's thousands of us. We're all the. I'm descended from the De Clares and William Marshall and I've wanted to figure out how close I was related to the current royal family. William and what's her name, Queen Elizabeth, whatever, and all that, and Prince Charles is my 27th cousin. So that's a long way off. 27. I'm closer related to Lady Godiva. She's my 25th great grandmother. And she wasn't a young pretty thing when she made her ride. She was at least in her 60s. She was over 60 so Lady Godiva riding naked. Okay. I don't think she was Raquel Welch. Raquel Welch could still pull that off, probably. And she's probably she's 70 something, 75 probably. Yeah, people can't find, because they don't Marvel gaze. They lack imagination, and that's why I was telling the gypsies, you lack imagination, and I got blocked and all the bullshit, and because they gave me so much bullshit over such a simple, you lack imagination, you lack imagination. They gave me so much BS over that it's like that's worse than pissing on my mother's grave, kind of. You're real disrespectful and assholes. I'm still waiting for somebody to interview Some Young Ho, that girl that Toby was entertaining down there in Vietnam or Taiwan, whatever. Her name was Some Young Ho. Some Young Ho has some things to say about Toby, I'm sure. Teton Trapper ought to go on that tangent next, you know? The thing is, you know, people are going to keep ridiculing the gypsies until they're fair and include the rest of the community. You know, Sean Dodson, he's allowed to cuss people out on their chat, apparently. Who's Sean cursing? You know, these people that they're allowed to say what they want because they're smooth talkers and whatever, and got all their, you know, they're good orators and stuff, and Bill he occasionally stutters and stuff, and so we're gonna you know, we don't want to listen to Bill Gorman stutter a little bit, because if somebody stutters and they're not so bright, well, my thinking process is perfectly fine. The words are trying to come out that little funnel, because there's a lot of thoughts behind that little bit coming out, and sometimes words get ahead of the other. Some words get ahead of the other ones, or you know, some stuff doesn't get through the funnel. That they don't marvel gaze. They don't have a clue what marvel gaze is. And Forrest Fenn talking about abstract art. I wonder if some of these videos that Dale's been putting up are going to be put into Terry Scant. And also, hey, David Kramer, yeah, send me an email or something, man. I'll send you my phone number. I'll talk to you off the record. Because you know, David knows what I'm talking about. David knows who he was a ranger, so he knows who my ancestors were. Robert Rogers, James Rogers, my fifth great grandfather. Robert was his brother. They smoked a peace pipe with Pontiac. That's part of the reason I've got my peace pipe, because I had to have and Robert Rogers raided the Abenaki village, and I got this peace pipe. It came from the Abenaki chief. I'm seeking a few minutes from work. Sneak. Oh, okay, Homer. Where I come from, you respect others. Yeah, yeah. Well, you respect those who respect you. You do unto others as you'd like others to do unto you. What they did to me, they said, well, we'd like you to disrespect us too. So, you know, since they decided to disrespect me and block me, I disrespect them. People don't like being left out, especially people with the knowledge. It's just rocks. No, if you're saying it's just rocks, you're just dumb. You're following the lead gypsy. You know, here's Toby over here beating his drum, bo 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 bo. It's Forrest over here beating his drum. I'm following Forrest and his drum. You guys are following Toby off on the wrong trail. Yeah, yeah. Do unto others as you want others to do unto you. They cut me off and disrespect. Basically, when they cut you off, they're saying you're unacceptable. You're a piece of shit. We don't want to talk to you. So if I'm a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit too. It works both ways. You know. So I only started scrolling through where he said ant, and there was the about the mud puddle and about the crippled ant in an elephant parade. Ah, okay. Another thing. This is Forrest quote. Another thing that I might add that I think about a lot when you're sitting under a tree way out in the wilderness someplace, look at the tree. You'll find ants climbing in the tree. You have to realize that you could have been born an ant instead of a human being. And in that same context, the ant is part of society just like you are. I mean, his problem is food and hailstorms in winter. And I mean, the problems are the same. And I think it's a very interesting thought. I thought about that a lot. And you're fortunate to be a human being and an American and don't appreciate that enough. Okay. Now, where I've gone, he's talking about the relationship in size to a human and an ant. For an ant to traverse the length of a human body, possibly might take 15 minutes or so. How many miles per hour are they going? How many miles an hour does an ant travel? Are they? I think they're a little faster than a snail. But the other thing he's doing is he's referencing size, the size of us compared to the size of an ant. Okay, for us to walk 100 yards is fairly easy. For an ant to walk 100 yards, it's a lot harder. But then let's go the other way. Let's go. We're the ant. The mammoth is the large megafauna. The mammoth is bigger than us, and it strides are longer than ours, and so because it's so much bigger, the distance is less. So if it's too far to walk, you ride the mammoth. Take the heavy loads over the water high, and, and where warm waters halt during the ice age, the ice came down all the way down almost to here. And so warm waters were south of the ice cap. That just throws all of the Yellowstone out of there. There's probably a warm hole there. Probably had a hole on all the snow still then, but the warm waters halt at the ice age. Back in time, it's a thing about time, and if you've seen the movie Interstellar, the quantum aspects of it. There's so much. There's a lot of quantum physics in Forrest Fenn's thrill in his chase, and so far I've probably collected few hundred or a few hundred bananas, and there aren't many left for you to go get. No, I have an endless supply of bananas. Really, the bananas are the arrowheads. The bananas are the what your Marvel gave. They're the archaeology. Each the archaeological figures or whatever is a banana, and you want to go out and hug these mammoths. I do. I'm starting to take pictures of. Yeah, I use the GoPro and do screenshots, but I did a little GIF of me hugging the mammoth all over it. That's what these figures do. And I went to search yesterday. I went to not search, explore. 'Cause I call it exploring and not searching because I don't. This is my treasure area. inside. And so I'm reading all these messages from the past, and you take pictures, and it's like, man, that looks like people in their living room, a woman in her dress. I used that for a thumbnail on a video recently, and I think I'm going to delete the other video that was. I might leave it up just to show that these YouTubes and Verizon, these corporations, how they it wasn't nothing wrong. It was a corporation that shut me down on that. One of them, YouTube or Verizon, or maybe it was Toby. Does he still have the security clearance? He get in the computers and still do all whatever. He got access to the NSA's hacking stuff on all of us. I think he's still working for the NSA. And look at all the people just climbing on board with him. He just collecting let's talk to the people just started searching. Let's not talk to the people that have been searching for 5 years. No, we want to wait. Are you new to Fenn community? So the rest of us might be able to learn something from your new aspect. We were people that have been searching for 5 years and stuff. They know the poem more and all that, but there's the majority of people have no clue what subtle means. No clue at all. Subtle is subtle's maybe like a warm feeling a woman gets when they start menstruating, or like something, a fly go through your hair or something, or it's the nuances or about something. It's not that subtle is not. If you say Yellowstone is not subtle, a subtle thing anymore. It is a direct. Subtle is indirect, and bold is direct. So bold and subtle are opposites, kind of, And so any place he names in the book is a bold hint. He said there are subtle hints in the book, and locations do not qualify as a subtle hint. If you think the location, Madison River, all the places he named, if you think that's a subtle hint, you're about as dumb as a nail. That's all there is to it. Sorry, you're all going with these bold places that he named in the book. And those bold places, boy, I just lost 3 viewers. I'm down to 2 now. I must have insulted them about dumb as a nail by not knowing what subtle means. That's an it. Go look it up. Look up what the word subtle means. Jesus. Watch a video on the word subtle. What does the word subtle mean? I lost another one. I'm down to 1. So, yeah, you got your location. You're not going to find the location is not named in the book. Find a substitute. He says, find a substitute. And you're all not looking for substitute. You're not marvel gazing. You're not seeing the art in nature. And Forrest is watching you. Oh, Bill Gorman, he's trying to teach them, but they're too ignorant to listen. I'm not talking about the one person watching, obviously. They don't get it. The only thing bold is treasure, and that's because treasure is on the map. Treasure is the only thing bold. Treasure's bold. Boom. It's in the poem. Says so. And if you can't find the word treasure on the map in your solution area, then you're in the wrong place. If your map says Yellowstone, you're in the wrong place. If your map says West Yellowstone, you're in the wrong place. Those are bold. Those are not subtle. I don't know. I take this information kind of like a nail and boom, 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 boom. I'm trying to teach people, but their ignorance is so profound that they don't listen. They don't understand that subtle does not mean bold. Subtle hint. As I sat on the Yellowstone River and cast my line into the deep green pool. The green is subtle. But just one word out of there, but not the location. The location is a bold, that tells you directly right here. And that's a bold thing. Bold things are not subtle, they are not clues. Anything, subtle hints. It felt like an ant, a crippled ant in an elephant parade. Okay. So maybe the elephants are the subtle hint, okay? Or the size of the elephants are a subtle hint. And these elephants I found, some of them are 600 feet, 700 feet, because the hill maybe 500 feet, but there's a slope and they're all up over the crest of the hill. And I find these scenes, like the little living room scene with the woman in the dress. She's inside an omega shape. There's an arch over them, and there's all those figures under the arch, under the omega. A lot of these tombs, I've told you over and over, they're omega. They have arches. There's an arch, and the arch is the mammoth, and this is where the shape of a tombstone came from. The arch, the omega shape of a mammoth. What do you really? Clovis Point and the ribs of a mammoth. Now the people are thinking, okay, he's talking about bones and a little an arrowhead, maybe spear point in a fossilized mammoth. But in actuality, what you're looking for is the shape of a mammoth in the rock with an arrowhead sitting over a big giant 6-foot arrowhead sitting over his ribs. That's one of the blazes. Bananas are blazes are bananas are blazes. And that's one of the archaeological sites. And I got a picture, got a picture of that. I've collected more than enough to claim the prize. And I know of nobody who has even a tiny fraction of what I've collected yet. I've seen some people with they're coming. Some people are following me, and they're posting some pretty interesting stuff. But it's not. It doesn't fit it's not where the poem fits perfectly. I'm where the poem fits perfectly, and I've got it. There's some things people don't don't play with the certain words, and I've never told them what the certain word is, but I've hinted at it. And yeah, has to do with them big mammoths and stuff. Um, and it relates to the end of the omega. End of the omega. What could the end of the omega be? Is anybody else thinking? Um, that's okay. That brings up another type of searcher. The searcher who doesn't have a clue. Doesn't have a clue in the world, and and they're only watching the video to try and undercut you, to try and beat you to it. Um, there are about 30,000 pictures behind me. I've collected I got a pile of bananas. You might need 2 semi trucks for all the bananas I've collected so far. Oh, and I want to show you. I found this. The only piece of pottery I found, but you see the glaze on it. But the inside is pretty rough. I don't know. Did they didn't have glaze like that, or I can't, because the where this was not where I think people were shooting and stuff, but could have been. Yeah, I don't know what kind of. I don't know. It's not old Indian pottery. So found that, and I got a skeet, using it for my coins till it falls off the table and goes crack. I had one before it broke. They only last so long as a coin holder. Ant. Being an ant instead of a human being. How about being a mammoth instead of a human being? As you see, because the humans come up the river, they could only go so far, and then they had to load their canoes and all the people up on a mammoth, and the mammoth would carry them over the mountain to the other side. And that's what for us to learn the things that what they did in the olden days, how they lived, how these ancient Indians lived. And this is my old. See, there's Harvey for us. No bracelet on Harvey on this. This was early shirt. No bracelet on Harvey there, because the bracelet came from Harvey, and Harvey's an imaginary rabbit. And imagination's more important than knowledge. So people, oh, you're the king of, Dale calls me the king of imagination, and all that. And Forrest says imagination's more important than knowledge, and people still think that their knowledge is more important than my imagination. A lot of people have this mental roadblock. We can't go where Bill's gone. We can't go there. No, if I was seeing shapes in rocks, all my friends would ridicule me like they do Bill. No, Bill lost a lot of friends when he started seeing things in rocks. No, these aren't things in rocks. These are sculptures. These are ancient artifacts. They're artifacts. They're too big to put in your pocket. And I've seen areas where, over in this rock area I'm going to go explore today, there's a bunch of rocks sticking, and you go up in between the rocks, and then there's a floor, and there's concrete floor, and like, wow, man, they lived here. This was their home, and they got a labyrinth of human figures and elephant figures I, I should measure the area that I'm dealing with here, and because we're talking probably 100 by 20, about 2,000 square miles of these artifacts scattered. They're not scattered. They're pretty high, densely packed in here. Yeah, I look at some. Like, oh, okay, where is it? Where? Oh, there. And then after you've marble gaze enough, then you go, oh wow, there's another. Oh wow, and you see the whole story comes together, eh, and it's in your. It takes a great imagination to see stuff that's got 13, 14,000 years of erosion applied to it. You know, if you take your Barbie doll and you go bury it in the dirt for 13,000 years, what do you think it's going to look like when somebody finds it? Your white Barbie doll probably be green, full of holes, missing hair and missing an eye and stuff. These sculptures that have been here for that long in the weather, they don't stay pristine. It's not Egypt. It's not Mexico, you know. This is older than all of those. And, and people fail to see the archaeology. There are some that do see it. And, and one important person that sees it is an academic PhD in archaeology teaching at the local university here. And he wanted, you know, well, where is this? Where can I go see it? You know, he wanted to go see it, and he was very interested and loved my pictures and agreed with me. And oh yeah, I said, yeah, neat. There was there's some that because you have so much that is carved there that some of the things that aren't might get crossed over. There's a line. You got to draw a line where do you separate your actual archaeology sculptures from the paranormal visual effects. You got to remember these ancient people. They were on LSD a lot of the time, and that's how they put a lot of that imagination into these rock sculptures. And I'm sure this area would be much more fascinating with the ayahuasca or the DMT or just mushrooms, you know, because then you will see, and that's the other thing. The people who can't see it haven't explored their own mind. They haven't gone into their own head. They what all that's in their head is what they were taught in school and by NBC and the talking heads on TV and things like that. And they were told to don't don't experiment with your mind. Don't go there. Oh no, don't go there. Religion was founded on that stuff. It's the whole there's a like Kawana Parker. Kawana Parker he says that this guy um, he said that the white man goes to church and talks about Jesus. The Indian goes to church and talks to Jesus. Here, quote, Kawana went from a ferocious Indian warrior to a statesman and leader of the Native American church, in parentheses, peyote religion, close parentheses. He said that the white man goes into his church house and talks about Jesus, but the Indian goes into his teepee and talks to Jesus. So, right there, it's backwards for you. Because so I can tell when they interrupt my live stream, the picture will freeze. They've done that twice to me recently. So yeah, talking about Juana Parker. Ooh, that binding doesn't like that. Tried to open it up flat. So yeah, people are lacking the imagination it takes. And the other thing here's, you notice there's no eyes and no mouth on there, or there kind of is, but it's just a little darker. There's a slot and a couple dots, like it's erosion has washed the face away. Okay, so I got had one picture that came out really cool when I turned it into art, and I can show you both. Maybe we'll find the other picture. Geez. Oh, there it is. Okay, so what it is there's a girl and an elephant, and you see the girl has no eyes, no mouth. Forrest Fenn stick man. There's no face, but you can tell where the face would be. There's a mammoth, and you see a guy down below here. This guy here. Did you see his legs, his butt, and there's his head, and you see the mammoth here. That's the mammoth and his trunk coming down. There's the girl. Here's her arm, but her arm's also a mammoth trunk too. Where's her other arm coming out over here? That's a mammoth trunk. I see here because I see the end of it, and it's coming all the way across. So there's another mammoth with his trunk wrapped around the whole group there. But that's you want to see I'll get the other picture up on the screen. The original of that. And because people, that one is Photoshop. That one's just the art program. You tell it to apply this art technique to this picture. You got a picture of your face on there, and it's not going to turn you into an alligator or something. But it will it just enhances you. It'll make you look like the Mona Lisa. It'll paint you like the Mona Lisa. You tell it to paint it like Van Gogh, or paint it like Renoir, or paint it like some other famous artist. I'm looking for my picture. There it is. Okay, so here's the original of that. And you see the mammoth. This mammoth here is obvious. The trunk coming down. The girl just made a selection. Dang it. Right click. So and you see the figures in the rock. The guy standing here is butt. He's standing there, and there's this person. This is a head here too. Somebody. And you see somebody down there. See figures down there. You see this guy hiding in the bush over here. See, there's a nose, an eye, there's a head, basically. Zoom out, go up to the top, because there'd be, you see the mouth and the eyes on that. And there's other figures in here. You see here's guy head and his arm, hand. But there's so many figures. Look, there's somebody up in there. See, there's face in there, and there's others back in there that I would have to be closer and get in there. But there's so much. You see the people up here climbing around, and there's people over here. See, there's somebody sitting here. There's their legs and their feet. There's another head and their body here. And you see there's a mammoth here. I gotta show you my look at that, no internet. Yeah, that's Verizon. That's Verizon for you. Crappy phone company. I'm trying to get that straight there. So, well, I'm getting close to an hour here, and I wanted to go explore this area I went to yesterday. And I got there, and I didn't have my 35 millimeter with me, and my memory card for the GoPro was in my computer. Yeah, the ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. Yeah. So, yep. And I ain't got no other ants marching with me. And I'm not the queen ant. Oh. You believe that? What Verizon did, because I'm live streaming, they turned off my tethering, it looks like. So now my computer doesn't have a connection. The Verizon just trying to find any way at all they can F with you. Any way at all. How can we screw with the customer? Screw with the customer. Make us what kind of corporation aims to be crappy? Their aim is to be totally a piece of crap network. Shrap, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to I got to put something in my stomach before I go look, but what I got to? Oh yeah, I can cook those fast. Yeah, a couple hot pockets, and then I'll go searching. But well, I'm searching for artifacts here. I'm not. My treasure search is too far to drive right now. So, what I've been here in close to a week. I've been here, so I got another week and a few days, I can go back up to the treasure area and do some more searches up there. But I haven't posted a lot of the video I've made going up there searching because I'm not trying to give anybody my spot, my precise locations. I've given them the rough area. You're between here, Del Norte, and Pagosa Springs. And if you get out a map, there ain't many places you can go. Well, there's a lot more places you can go than, and what you get when you get there, you find this little 100-foot square, 100 foot by 100 foot area that you said, oh, it's got to be here. You get there, it ain't gonna be there. And you got to marvel gaze. You got to see the ancient archaeology. You got to acquire an eye for it. Watching some of my art videos, you might acquire that eye, or just try and pick up a little pareidolia can help you in finding the real stuff too. Because once you find the real stuff is there's so much of it that you some of the pareidolia that might be there might get included in it unintentionally, but there is plenty of the official archaeology there that the you include some of the pareidolia. You go, well, that's what it looks like. But yeah, it's just a wall of figure. And that picture I showed you with the girl next to the mammoth, the picture next to it, something just as incredible, some things are harder to see, so I don't even show the things that are harder. I try and show the things that are easy to see, like I had at the beginning of this here. And you see the eye, the beard, this is a head. But you see one thing up here, there's a mammoth up here on the side of his head. There's the mammoth. You see there's a head here in front of the mammoth. There's a head right here in front of it. This is a trunk coming down. And these are the legs of the mammoth. And look, there's somebody laying on the back of the mammoth. There's a face looking up from the back of the mammoth. It takes that kind of imagination. And you see the mammoth, this whole thing is a mammoth head coming down too. See the trunk comes down here. It's got two nostrils on it. Pixelated, too far in. And then this is like Zeus or God. Here's the nose. There's an eye, the nose, the beard. See, if you make it smaller sometimes, it's easier to see the overall figure. You zoom in, you see the other things. There were people down here. Whatever. So, that's it. I'm going to get some stuff in my stomach and I'm going to go exploring. Find some amazing stuff. I don't even have to look for it, really. I go there and it's there. I know where to go and it will be there. Because I know that they carved everything here. It's totally amazing. And Forrest, I mean, Forrest finds something like this and he'd never need Viagra. It's totally amazing. I don't even care about the rest of everybody out there. I got this here. I'm distracted from all the BS going on the planet quite a bit by this is the thrill of the chase, finding this archaeology and all this stuff. That's the thrill of the chase. Um, but that's about it. I had a, God, get some- well, we'll do something special for the sign off here. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. We're gonna grab all the bananas. Grab the bananas. Ah! Goodbye.